Hey man, can you hear me?
I said I can hear you. How you doing, mate?
Good man. Kinda missed you last week, so how's everything going?
Yeah, I wasn't feeling too well, hey, but yeah, the health is improving a bit, getting a lot of rest, which was good. So yeah, it's improving. So on the road to recovery, definitely.
Okay, great stuff, man. All right, I remember that last week we were discussing India and then a bit of South Africa, and yeah, India really whooped West Indies here in the T20's. I think it was 4-1. Could have really been 5-0. West Indies were finding ways of losing matches that they could have won. So your thoughts here on the T20 series?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a sort of a continuation in the dominance that we saw in the one-day series in the T20 series as well. I think lots of games where it could have went the Windies' way, but India, I mean, they just showed their quality and they got over the lines. But yeah, I mean, 4-1, some of the games were quite close. However, but the Windies just are having that difficulty in terms of getting over the line, and that's a barrier that's really hurting them at the moment. So they got to fix this. I mean, they don't have much time. They've got to fix this. They've got a couple of months to the World Cup, August, September, October. We've got literally 2 months more to the World Cup, to the showpiece, and I mean, if they don't get this fixed up, they're really in for a drubbing in that World Cup.
To be fair toward West Indies, I'm not trying to take anything away from India because India are on another planet when it comes to T20s ever since their pathetic performance in the UAE. But the pitches were pretty shit. Were pretty, excuse my language, but they were shit, man, in that T20 series. Actually, in general, they've just prepared shit pitches. So I think in Australia, I'm sure the pitches will be so much better. I think they can't play any worse than that they were doing at home. So I think they might surprise. So don't want to write them off, but they'll have to play a lot better. You agree with me, or you think I'm
I
speaking
think,
rubbish?
yeah. Well, well, one issue they've got at the moment, they've got to decide on their starting lineup. Because I think there's been quite a few teams, players that they've given opportunities to. So they've got to try and digest and uh,
Mm-hmm.
get down to the work now of selecting a side that they're going to back. And
Mm-hmm.
if they say this is the side we're going to back and we're going to play them for the remainder of the
Mm.
matches heading to the T20 World Cup, so be it. That's the only way you're going to get results. You're going to get results with consistency in selection, and when consistency in selection comes to the fore, you're going to get results consistently as well. So the
Mm.
choppy and
Mm.
changing is good. But I know they were missing some of the big guns, but
Mm.
some of them are actually participating in the 100 at the moment in the UK. But I mean, yeah, they're always a dangerous side on the day. You never know what to expect from the Windies. They can be
Yeah. And
quite an enigma
mm.
in that sense, where they're sort of like Pakistan, I feel, where they can come really good on a day and they can be really bad on their day as well. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a side to be wary of, but I think if you play to your potential against them, you can beat them quite easily as well. So I think it's about playing your potential. But the moment you underestimate them, as a side, I think that's when it becomes quite dangerous on your part. But I think you got to, if you just play your normal game and you
Mm.
tick the box in terms of your fielding, your batting, your bowling,
Mm.
you can't beat them. But yeah, I mean they are an
Mm.
unpredictable side and they are a dangerous side on their day. You never can write them off.
Okay. Okay. Speaking about a side being on the ball, our side are doing pretty damn well. I know we beat England 2-1 and then we beat Ireland 2-0, although that was expected, with due respect to them. And I had my reservations of Miller being captain, but he seems to be quite promising, eh? So I think it's good that we have some leadership candidates there. There's obviously the Bavuma, the normal guy, and there's Keshav, there's Miller. So yeah, there's potential there for leadership there.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's good to have quite a few captains, quite a few leaders in the dressing room, and then Miller showed it. I mean, it didn't start very well at Bristol. I mean, England were in that first game. They were really on fire, and Bairstow, I mean, came to the fore there,
Mm.
and
Mm.
that sort of total was actually out of reach, although they didn't play that badly with the bat. They batted quite fine, but I think that run rate was really, a foregone conclusion. But what I wanna add here is I think we found a star. We found a star in the series in the name of Stubbs. I mean, absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. I mean, this is a guy that's going to go places in the T20 game, and you can see, being a youngster growing up with a diet of T20 cricket, and he's showing his full array of skills, and he's also a very energetic fielder as well. So I think, if anything, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I to see the side lose the first game and then bounce back the way they did was so in such convincing style was amazing to watch. And I think this T20 side is in a good space at the moment. I think we did well in India against a really strong Indian team. I mean, 2-2 in India, you take that any day, but you take that any day. And it could have been a lot better, but I mean, I'd take that 2-2 in India, and then 2-1 against England. A powerhouse side like England, I know they haven't had the best of it in the white ball arena so far. I think the Test cricket is on the upward curve, but the white ball has been a bit dodgy under Butler. But I mean, 2-1 against England away, I'd take that any day. I'd take that any day. So that was a fantastic performance.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed with Stubbs. I mean, he's power hitting in the opening game, and this his fielding. I mean, that catch that he took in that final game was absolutely amazing. Yeah, there was some. They were and Riley as well. Riley, I thought Riley had a good series. I think he didn't start off very well, but I mean, that second game he showed his class. I mean, just must start on the century there, and it would have been well deserved as well. And I think he chipped in well in that third game as well. Could have done better, but who top scored in that last game? I just wanted to recall. I think it was. Markram played quite well in that game as well.
Are you referring to the 30-20?
30-20.
Okay, let's see. No, I think it was Reza Hendricks. He got 70 of 50, and then Markram got 51 of 36. That's pretty much it. And then the captain, the 22 of 9.
Quite simply, my player of the series, Reza Hendricks. Quite simply, my player of the series. I thought he was superb, and I mean, missing Bavuma. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Bavuma wasn't really missed in that lineup, because these are really healthy. And now there's a selection dilemma here, because you really can't drop a guy who's made three T20 half centuries, can you? It's crazy. So
didn't you have your rhythm Hendricks initially, and then now he's proved you wrong also?
Absolutely proved me wrong. Absolutely proved me wrong. I mean, if I'm looking at it now, and Reza is the perfect foil for this World Cup, because I think a lot of things in his game plan, he's become more attacking, and that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted from an open attacking, and if Cock can find his mojo again, I think we got quite a superb opening partnership at the top. I think there's still a role for Bavu, probably in the middle order. But that's where it gets a bit cramped up now, because you got Markram that's in good form. You've got Rassi that you can't drop him in a T20 lineup, and then you've got Miller, and then you've got Stubbs. So I mean, there's a few selection headaches there at the moment, I mean, we all know.
Well, maybe
really hasn't performed.
The Cock needs to, but I wouldn't worry about it. I'm sure he'll come good. I think Bavuma, they could use him in a flexible way. Like if the low total choice, he can come up the order and just do that composure situation, if that makes sense to you. If it's a big total, then they can leave him down the order just to do the finishing touches or something. What do you think?
I kind of disagree with that comment that you made about the Cock, because I think he still's got to prove himself, leading up to the World Cup. But I mean, if you're going to drop the Cock, which is a big call, I mean, it is quite a big call. You've got Klaasen there as well. Klaasen is quite a handy batsman, and he's shown some good form as well.
No, I never said drop the Cock. I was thinking about Pavuma. If he's going to play, he can play like in a situation. If it's a low total, he can bat up the order, and then if it's a high total, he can bat lower down the order, two finishing touches or something. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call at the moment, eh? Looking at the way Riza is performing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know as a captain, and he's a good leader. I mean, he's a very astute captain. The one way I can see him coming into the side is you either dropping the likes of, a Rassi, which I think is unfortunate. I mean, at the moment, Riza doesn't deserve to be dropped, and I don't think any expected to have the form or to be on the form that he was in so far. So, I mean, he's caused a few selection headaches there, hey. And I think De Kock, if he doesn't really get his form back, he's in a bit of trouble there as well. So I wouldn't think De Kock is like a foregone conclusion. I still think he needs to prove himself. But there's a few selection headaches there, hey, at the moment. So
yeah, okay.
There's very few selection headaches. I
coming for Andile.
Yeah.
You can come in for Andile and Special Kwayo. You can come in for that guy. Pavuma can come in for Andile if you're okay with that. Yeah,
obviously,
you can do that.
So, I guess he's competing with Pretorius, and I'd expect Pretorius to get that spot in the team, given we performed in the last World Cup. So, I mean, Andile, he showed a bit of skill in the series, but I'm still not convinced with his dead bowling. Eh? I think.
Yeah,
that's what
I'm saying. That Pavuma can come for him. Pavuma can replace him.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's not selected either way, it's not really. I mean, who do you drop? Who do you drop in that sense? Because the thing is, Pavuma is competing with Riza at the moment. If you think about it, Pavuma is competing with Riza for that other spot, and now Riza is on form, and you got De Kock that's not in form. So it's in the way now you could quite easily drop De Kock and put Riza and Pavuma up the order. And I mean, you've got a fantastic middle order. You've got the likes of Rassi, Markram. I mean, Markram can easily come in at 3. You've got Riley there as well. So, I mean, there's so many options at the moment. There's so many options in that batting lineup.
Yeah.
I think in the UAE. And I think that's the reason why we didn't get out of the group stage. Although we won 4 out of 5, our batting was quite thin in the UAE. We were missing the likes of Riza, the likes of a Riley, the likes of a Stubbs. So Stubbs has added a whole new dimension to the side here. I mean, he simply cannot be dropped. He simply cannot be dropped from the side at the moment. Yeah. So, boy, yeah, I mean, this selection, I think you gotta look at a bit of a rotation in that World Cup as well. If some of the big guns, you can give other few, some players a chance, but I think the most important thing, you got to book that semi-final spot, and then you look experimenting with that squad. So, yeah, interesting times ahead, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we even went into the Irish games quickly. Ireland did compete quite well. Eh? I mean, the first T20 was pretty close, 21 runs. We beat them by, and then was a pretty one-sided one, 44 runs. So, what were your thoughts, eh?
Yeah, I think the batting was quite impressive, eh? The batting was quite impressive in these games, and I mean, it's a good pitch, eh? Bristol is a real a batsman's paradise, and I mean the Irish, they're going to be losing, but they are going to get better as well, hey? They definitely are going to get better as a side. The more they play, cricket, you can see the Irish, stocks are going to go up, and I mean there's so many of these Irish players that are playing in T20 leagues around the world, so. I'm not surprised about this batting performance. I mean, I saw it against New Zealand. They could have easily beaten New Zealand in that first. Even that T20 series was quite close as well. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah. I'm not surprised by the way the Irish are batting at the moment, because their players play in the UK competitions. They play against some of the best players in the world. So, I mean, this can only help them going forward. But I think a side like Ireland, they just need more cricket up their sleeves, and they're going to become really, really competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Ireland even pushed India in one T20, and India could have lost that one. And that too, India made a truckload of runs. So, yeah, man, they really are looking good. I mean, right? I mean, they will upset a few teams in that T20 World Cup, and hopefully they don't upset us. Fingers crossed for that, eh?
Yeah, don't they have to go through a qualifying stage prior to the group stage, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh yeah, good point. I'm sure they'll be okay, even if they have to go
Yeah,
through qualifying.
I think that's with the squad that they have at the moment and the batting that they have. I think they should easily get through that that qualifying stage and go into the the group phase.
Okay, let's get to the meaty ball one, the test matches. I know you wanted to discuss this quite in a big way, so we can get into this. This is starting on the 17th of August. If I look at the squads quickly, let's say England quickly. Oh yeah, Stokes is captain. You got James Anderson, you got Bairstow, Broad, Harry Brook. Never heard of him before. He's a batter. Okay, Jack Crawley, Folks, Leach, Alex Lees. Okay, Craig Overton. Okay, the all-rounder. Pope, Potts, Robinson, and then there's obviously Joe Root. And then, what do you think of that English squad before I look into the SA squad?
Look, it's a good team, hey? It's a good team. I mean, if you look at the way they performed in the last two test series, the last four test series, this is a side on the up. I mean, whatever you want to call it, you want to call it baseball, you want to call it hit the ball as you see it, whatever you want to call it. It's been a team on the up, but however, I do feel they're going to face their toughest test against the Proteas, and this is a huge series. And I'm sure the Proteas are quite well drilled in terms of the preparation wise. I mean, if you look at the Test Championships, this series is very crucial in terms of, I mean, not so much in England's sense, because I mean England have lost quite a few Test matches, leading up to the summer. So I mean, the best that they can finish is probably, top half, maybe best fourth or so. But I mean, they obviously going to be building towards the next championship. But for the Proteas, I mean, this is a huge series. I mean, you've got to avoid losing at all costs. When I talk about it, I mean, we all know it's going to be an exciting challenge, and I think Dean Elgar is a sort of loves challenges. He loves challenges because I mean, if you look at the series against India, nobody gave them a chance. Nobody gave this Proteas side a chance to win the Test series. And we're talking about the media, we're talking about experts. I mean, India were coming here to win their first Test series in South Africa, and unfortunately, the Proteas had some other ideas. So this is a side. I mean, I'm really. I feel our Test team is in really good hands with Elgar, and I'm just looking at the entire cohesion of this team. There's been continuity in selection in terms of the likes of Peterson, the bowling lineup. I'm really excited that Harmer is back in this lineup, and I hope he does get a chance, because I think he has great knowledge of those UK conditions. Because we'll be playing at three venues: the Lords, I think it's Manchester, and the Oval. So it's going to take some turn. There is going to get some turn. I mean, you're going to get some turn at Lords as well. Day 4, day 5, you're going to get that turn. So, I mean, Harmer is a very important cog, along with Keshav in this lineup. So, I'm really excited. Really excited. I think we have the bowling attack to match them. I think we have the bowling attack to give this England side some problems. And I mean, Elgar is looking at it. He's looking at that T20 Test Championship, because I mean, the Proteas are sitting pretty at the top. However, they've got to win one of these series. The permutations of the Proteas trying to get into this, into the final of the T20, the Test Championship final. They've got to either beat Australia or England away, and obviously they've got a series against the Windies at home, which I expect them to win. So this is a massive series, eh? This is a massive series. I mean, it's a very, very important test here for the side, hey, because I mean, if they could beat England away and beat Australia away towards the end of the year, I mean, this side could rightly, put themselves back onto number one in terms of the Test cricket.
Yeah, I see Zondo in the squad. Steerman is in this squad, and who else is there? Well, the rest pretty much is what I know of. Do you think those guys are going to play in the series, or unlikely?
Highly unlikely. Hey, I mean, I did see them in the warm-up games against England Lions. I mean, that one didn't go too well, but I mean, there were quite a few, big players that were missing there. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to have them around the squad. I mean, get the experience, but I mean, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think that Proteas batting lineup it looks pretty assured. However, there's a bit of a headache there. Because Aiden Markram made 8 in that warm-up game against England Lions. So he's looking in pretty good touch at the moment, eh? And I know he wasn't in good touch, and that's the reason why he was dropped initially. And then Keegan Peterson came in and took his spot, and I mean, really, made that number position his own. So yeah, it looks pretty settled, in this batting lineup. But I mean, with regards to Temba, I'm not sure if Temba is actually going to be partaking in the series in terms of his injury.
No, he's not in the squad. When I look at the 17-player squad, if I just go through it quickly, you have Elgar, you have Siddharth Haribhai. I think he's opening better. I think he has been opening more. Then there's Simon Palmer, Marco Jansen, Keshav, Aiden, Lungi, Anrik, Duan Olafia, Keegan, Rabada, Rickleton, Sampala, Glenton, Rassi, Verena, and Zondo. I have a doubt on whether Olafia will play because his pace is so bad. Although the pitches in England are such that maybe his pace may not be such a big deal. As long as he can pitch it up fuller, he's tall, right? So he'll get some bounce. So, but then, do you think Olafia will play?
I highly doubt it. Eh? I highly doubt it. Looking at that squad, I mean, you got the likes of KG, you got the likes of Nokia. I mean, Nokia with his pace in England, I mean, he could cause so much of problems to that England batting lineup. So, yeah, it's a bit difficult to see Dwayne in that lineup because, I mean, we all know the reason why he played in that India series because Nokia got injured. And, I mean, he did quite well in that first match, but I think, he really dropped off a bit in terms of his pace. I was actually quite surprised that he lost so much of pace because I know we were speaking about this prior to that Boxing Day test match that, this guy's going to come fire up, 140, 145 is going to cause the Indian batters a whole lot of problems. And, I mean, dropping to 129, I mean, highest looking at around 135, wasn't the speed that we associated with Dwayne because I mean we know how he terrorized that Pakistan batting lineup in 2018, 2019. So it was a bit of surprise to see him, with those sort of speeds. But I think he's molded himself into a more of a skillful bowler in a sense, where I mean he uses the conditions to his, to his liking and in his favor. But I think he requires a bit of swing in the air as well, to get that movement away. I think he's sort of a bowler now. He doesn't rely on that bounce because that bounce was a real weapon for him. The short ball as well was a real weapon for him. He was causing the Pakistanis all sorts of problems in that series. Really, really terrorized them. So I think he's changed as a bowler. But I mean, Nokia can do that job. Nokia can do that job as well. I mean, those short deliveries, he can really, rough it up there, and make the England batters really uncomfortable. I mean, this batting lineup is really, really interesting. I mean, if I were to pick the batting lineup now, I'd go with Sadal. We've got Sadal and Dean at the top there. Number 3, obviously, Keegan would be there, would take that spot. And then you've definitely got to put Rassi back into that mix, eh? You've got to put Rassi back at number 4. And then you've got an interesting selection there. I mean, do you play Zondo or do you play Markram? That's going to be a pretty heated subject there. I got a feeling that Zondo might just get the nick over Markram, possibly. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. And then you've got Ryan. You've got Ryan at number.
Ryan I'm thinking you could play both of them. You could play Rickleton and Verena together. Wouldn't that be nice to watch? If they both play.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to play. you've got to play both of them. You've got to play Ryan and you've got to play Kyle. Because I mean Ryan played really well in the two-test series against Bangladesh. So I mean, even though it was Bangladesh, I mean I saw a lot of it. I saw quite a lot of maturity in his playing.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't drop Ryan. So Ryan would be in my side. So it's going to be an interesting one with Makram and Zondo. I think that's the spot that's probably that you could tick around with. And then, do you play two spinners or do you play one? Because I mean, Hammer could really bat at number 8. I mean, he's a bat at number 8. I mean, the only odd thing is, I mean, you don't have that all rounder anymore in terms of a seaming all rounder in that Protea lineup. So it's going to be interesting, but I think they probably go with a three quicks, one spinner attack in that first test at Lords, and then they'll see how things change. But I think and Giri Nokia would probably make that bowling lineup along with Keshav. I mean, what do you think? That's probably the side that they would pick.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that last part, Jim, for that last part.
Yeah, I was saying that's probably the sort of side that they would pick in terms of the bowling, the likes of Rabada, Nokia, and Ngidi with Keshav, complementing.
Yeah, that sounds right. What about Janssen? I think you missed Janssen. You could have Janssen as well. We're doing the left armour there, and also you can bat, so that's something there. Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting. Hey, I think there's a bit of depth in this test side as well at the moment. So, I mean, if you look at the likes of Ryan being there, I mean, Ryan is an extra batter in that side because I mean, if you're going to play, if you're going to play Janssen now, what happens to Ryan's spot now in the side? Do you pick Ryan?
Then maybe we don't need Ryan then because Rickleton can bat, so you're kind of getting quite a bit there with Janssen. He can bat, he can bowl, he can field. Fine, not the greatest batsman, but he can hit the ball. So that is something.
I'm a firm believer of playing 7 batters in Test cricket, and I'll tell you why. I mean, Test cricket is quite a long duration, and you've got to have those players down the order that can contribute those tough runs. Because I mean, when the Proteas were really very strong, they always played 6 specialist batters, and then they played a wicket keeper. So I would still like to go with 6 specialist batters, and then you play the wicketkeeper at number 7. Really, really important. But Kyle is a specialist batter as well himself as well. So yeah, I would like to have that. I would like to have that in the side. I think I like the guy like a guy like Mulder. I think he's really got to go back to domestic cricket now and work on his game and probably try and come back a better cricketer, because I think he's the one that's really going to be losing out in terms of getting game time in the Proteas lineup at the moment, because I think this lineup is looking pretty settled at the moment. Because I mean, if Bavuma was there at number 5, I think it becomes a little bit easier in the sense where you can slot Ryan in at number 7, at number 6, sorry, and then you've got Kyle at number 7, and then you've got your 4 bowlers. I think that's a perfect sort of team to play, Sid. And I think that's the side that we need to look at playing going forward. I mean, Temba, I mean, we know he's what in the Test arena. He's a fantastic player at number 5. So, yeah, I mean, that would be my team going forward. So it's pretty unfortunate that Temba is not in the side, because, I mean, these runs are so valuable to this team. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see something before we wrap off. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, I didn't actually realize we actually lost to the England line. That's pretty embarrassing. 672, 483, and 183. Lost to it by an innings and 56 runs. I don't know what was smoking in that second innings, because we did quite well in that first innings. 433, we did well, but it wasn't so bad. And then to be bowler for 183, unless the pitch got worse, or they were showing it live here on TV, or you're just following the scorecard?
Look, I followed a bit of it online in terms of Cricket Info, but didn't really see much of the game. So, I mean, I wouldn't really read too much into it, because, I mean, if you look at the starting lineup for that side, there are quite a few, some sort of fresh face. I wouldn't say fresh faces, but not your regulars in terms of the Sapamlas, your
Yeah.
Zondos, that are still
I
trying
saw
to find their
Glenton
feet,
played. I saw Glenton
Glenton
played. Yeah,
Stierman,
Zondo did play. Yeah.
yeah, Stierman
Yeah,
as
those
well.
two. And then there was, but so English. So Harry Brook did well. That's an interesting one. Then Sam Cook, well, can he's a bowler, so I don't know if he will be cooking in the first test. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's funny. Then there's Liam Patterson. So even England fielded some players I just don't know from a bar of soap. So I guess it was a bit of an experimentation, which worked for them than for us. But I'm sure we'll be okay comes the first test. As long as the pitch is not too dry, we'll be okay. If it's a proper English pitch, it could work in our favor. I think that's probably our best chance on a final note to win a series in England, even though England are run up, so don't want to write them off after what India did. And then there's, I'm going to go with us to win the series, either 1-2-0 or 2-1. I'll go 2-1. It's more easier. I just don't think there's many draws, especially in England. The way England like to chase, I think I'm going to go with us 2-1.
I absolutely concur with what you're saying. I think we have the goods. I think we're sending quite a strong side this time to the UK, and I think we can get some revenge back on this English side, and take a bit of the pain that they they obviously gave us in 2019 back home. So yeah, I think 2-1 is a pretty good scoreline, and yeah, I looking at Elgar, look at his captaincy. He's got a very well-oiled side, and Nokia. I mean, he's got a bit of bowling in the UK as well now, so he's looking probably quite good. I mean, we will have to see if he's back to his actual best. But I mean, in the Test arena, he's always a fierce competitor. So yeah, I'm going with the Proteas 2-1 to win this Test series, and I think this is going to give them so much of confidence going to Australia. So. Yeah, 2-1 to the Proteas as well.
Do you think they're going to play two spinners in any of the test matches? That's the question. I don't know. It would be nice.
I think there is a possibility.
Yeah.
I think there probably is a possibility. Maybe at Old Trafford or the Oval, that you probably would play two spinners. But I don't think much at Lords. I think Lords, you probably want to go with your three quicks because you do get that movement at Lords. But having said that, Sid, I think first innings runs is crucial here. Try and get as many as possible against this England side. I think the Proteas can get around 450, 470. They'll be in really, really good hands. They can dominate this test match. They can boss this game. And we've seen England how they've obviously came and they plundered these totals and in terms of chase these totals down. So it wouldn't be a bad option as well, trying to put them in, eh? And, let's see how they perform batting first because, we haven't seen it a lot. I think they've gone with this approach where they wanted to bat second and try and chase down whatever score. So, give them a different scenario, put them in and try and get them to chase a score. I mean, set a score. And then we'll try and see, what England is all about because I think, so far, most of the matches that they've won so far, they've usually chased it down. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I still think first innings runs is crucial, sir. I mean, whether the Proteas are batting first or second, you've got to target at least 450. Hey, 450, I think is pretty decent. It'll give you that opportunity to boss that game. 450 at Lords, I'd say pretty much a winning score. Hey.
Yeah, I have a theory though. Maybe England have been able to chase the scores because these Duke balls have not been the ones that they've had in the past, whereby they've seemed around longer. They've been kind of shorter. If you notice how many times the balls kept getting changed, it was ridiculous, man. So maybe if they have those Duke balls up before, maybe the series could be a lot more interesting. But I think at this moment in time, if they keep changing the Duke ball, I think England are going to continue on their merry ways chasing. But if it's us doing the bowling at us chasing, I only worry that if we are chasing, our batting style doesn't resemble England's fearless approach. So I don't know. But it would be nice to see how England do it when they're batting first, and then we'll just take it from there.
I think obviously Dean and the coaching staff have gone through the video analysis, and I think the one thing that really struck me in the 4 matches that they've won, the likes of New Zealand, the likes of India, when England started attacking and they started going for this for the game, they went on the defensive, and I think that's something that you don't want to do. And I don't expect the Proteas to go on the defensive. I expect them to go on the attack, try and get wickets, because I mean that's the way the Proteas play their Test cricket. They want to try and bowl the opposition out, because I think if they fall into the trap of going to the defensive, I think England are really going to be dangerous to them. They've got to be wary of this. They cannot try and go on the defensive and start splitting the field like what India did in that final game. I thought India really lost the plot completely when Root and Bairstow were having their merry way after tea on that day. They really lost the plot completely. They went on the ultra defensive, started splitting the field, and a guy like Root, I mean, I still think he's the prize wicket in the series. He's still the prize wicket for the Proteas. I mean, if you can get Root out, it obviously you've got a big chunk of that England batting lineup, a big chunk of those runs in terms of the overall total. You can cut it down considerably if you get Root out quite cheaply. So there definitely is plans. There definitely is plans in terms of the approach, but I simply don't expect the Proteas to go on the defensive with the likes with the way New Zealand and India did in that final game, because I mean you got to learn from other teams' errors and you've got to try and be better. So I mean we're living in the age of technology. So I think there's video analysis all the time that's being drilled to these players and how they should play. So I think if the Proteas attack and they stay on that attacking approach, they could really come good in the series. And my prediction is still the same. I expect us to win this one 2-1.
Yeah. Not to digress, but if I'm looking at this Lions scorecard, I was surprised to see the run rate of 5.72. I don't think we can bowl that badly in the Test match. So as long as we don't bowl that badly, we'll be okay. 5.72. And Markram picked up 6 wickets, and Markram picked 6 wickets. I don't think he's going to do that against England. As much as I would love to see that happening. So, yeah, man, I think the batsmen did have fun, but I don't think we'll be giving the English batsmen that much fun. 5.74. I could probably expect England to bat maybe around the 3 runs and over. But I know when they're chasing against India, they're going at 4 runs and over. With it 5 also, shoot. So, got to be careful there. So,
I think it was around 5.5. So they were really rollicking around against India that final game. As I said, India really lost the plot in terms of the approach and their strategy. Yeah, so the Proteas have got to be wary of that, but I think they pretty much well drilled in terms of how they want to go about it.
Yeah, I think they're just going to bowl at one side of the wicket, which is off stump, and try and make them go, man. Try and drive their patience down. Set the field like a 6-2 field or a 7-2 field. I don't know what to call it. Like an offside field mainly. Even if you have a very small amount of field on the leg side, so that if they are getting too impatient, you'll probably get some edges going to the slips or something, or going to the boundary. Field is mainly just for the offside. Just bowl one side of the wicket. Not easy, but you've got to do something to break down this English side. I think that's pretty much it from my end. Any final words?
Yeah, I mean, I concur with what exactly you said. I mean, you got to keep the ball outside off stump. You just keep to a channel and let the ball do the talking. And I think there's enough in Lords to get the best out of it. I mean, the Proteas have had some memorable victories at Lords. So I mean, it's a ground that they do enjoy. Hey, let's not forget, it's a ground that they do enjoy. They do like playing at Lords. They do like playing England at Lords. So, fingers crossed for a good start. And let's hope Dean and the boys, make us proud down in the UK.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So until we see the match on Wednesday, and I shall see you soon.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. I'm going to be glued to that match from ball one.
Yes, and at least it's not at midnight like the other matches, so at least you'll be able to watch it nicely.
Yeah. The UK time zones are amazing, so I mean, it really works in our favor as well as you know, South Africans, the Protea fans.
Yeah. All right. Take care, man.
Cheers, sir. Enjoy your weekend. Chat to you soon.